Now we are going to style our buttons. We will go to the styles tag in our HTML code to start styling all our buttons with their individual class names. Moving up here, we will move straight to the styles tag, and in between this styles tag, we can start writing the styles for each of our buttons and also the background of the calculator app. Let's start with styling the background. We have a background class, BG. We pick the class name, a dot comes before the class name. As we can see here, the background has a class name of BG. We gave it a class name of BG, so we are going to select that class name and use it to give our styling to the background, how we want the color to look and how we want the shape to be and the size of it to be. So for the background, we are going to give it a background color of, we'll use the RGB color code, and here we're giving it 4, 94, and 34. Then next we want to style the height. We are giving it a height of 432 pixels. And next we want to style the width. We are giving it a width of 228 pixels. And next we want to style the border radius. We are giving it a border radius of 20 pixels. And next we want to set the margin to auto. Let's save and see what we've done so far in our browser. Okay, so far this is what we have. As you can see, the background is similar to the background of the finished calculator. Then because that's the only style we've applied, we are going to apply styles to every other thing. The two displays, then the memory buttons, then all the buttons, then the operation buttons, then the C button. So let's move to the next, which are the two input fields. Now let's move to Visual Studio Code again. Then we're going to style the first input field. We give it a class name of expression. So that's the class name we give to the first input field, expression. So we are using that class name to style the input field. So we are giving the input field a border of none. We don't want it to have any border. So we are giving it a border top left radius of 10 pixels. Then we're giving it a border top right. Top right radius of 10 pixels as well. We're giving it a height of 20 pixels. We're giving it a width of 224 pixels. We're giving it a font size of 15 pixels. That's the size of the text that's going to be displaying inside that input field. Then we're giving a background color using the RGBA color code of 255 230 0.849. Then we're giving it a color using the RGBA code. That's the text color of the text that we are going to be pushing into the input field using our JavaScript. So the color of the text will be 255. Sorry, this here should be the color of the text. This should be the color of the text. Then the background color should be using RGB color for 94 and 34. Then we're going to align the text to the right, because calculator's text are always aligned to the right, but by default the input field text are always aligned to the left, but we want it to be at the right because we are designing a calculator. So our text will start coming up from the right side and not from the left side of the input field. Okay, let me save and let's see what we've done so far compared to the original calculator app. Okay, we can see the input field here has taken its shape, style, which is similar to this. We have something similar to this, just the way it looks here. That's the way it looks here. So we're going to style the next input field right now. Let's go ahead and style the next input field. We gave it a class of display. That's the class we gave it. As you can see here, the CSS class we're going to be styling. The CSS, the class we're going to be using, class name we're going to be using to style the CSS is display, as we have it here. So we are picking that class to use it to style it in our CSS within the CSS style tags. And for this, we are giving a border color, a background color, sorry, or rather border color. Using the RGB color coding 255 238 0. And we're giving a border width of 3 pixels. And we are giving a border radius of 10 pixels. And we're giving a height of 60 pixels. We're giving a width of 216 pixels. We are given a margin of 2 pixels. We are given a font size of 34 pixels. We are given a background color using the RGB color code of 62 196 151 0.555. Then we are given a color, text color using the RGB color code still, RGB color code 255 230 0 0.849, and then the text align, and of course we want it to align right as well. So let's save and see what we've done so far. Okay, so we have something similar to what we have here. We have something similar to what we have here, but I think we need to still work on the border radius here, on the background, and also the color. I think there's a little difference here. Okay, let's check what might be different here. Okay, let's go to our background. Background color, height, border radius, width, height, margin, auto. Okay, and our expressions. Okay, border top left radius 10 pixels, border top right radius 10 pixels, height 20 pixels, width 2 to 4, font size 15, background color 49434, color 255 to 300849, text align left. Alright, let's move ahead. Then next we style the M buttons, the memory buttons. Then for the memory buttons, we want the border radius to be 20 pixels. We want the border none. We want the height 50 pixels. We want the width 50 pixels. We want the margin to be 2 pixels. And we want the background color to be 10, 90, 190, 130, 0.555. I want the color to 55, 230, 0.952. Okay, that's all for the memory buttons. Let's see what we have so far compared to the finished calculator. Okay, here we have something similar to what we have here. So we've not styled these other ones. So there's nothing yet that has happened to these other buttons because we've not given them any style yet. So let's move straight to the buttons and style them. Buttons class, and you can see here we have our buttons class given to every number, buttons class. So let's style the buttons class. Now, we are giving the buttons a border radius 20 pixels, and our border none. We're giving it a height, all the buttons the same height of 50 pixels. Also a width of 50 pixels. And background color. Two three six 213 4 0.925. A margin of 2 pixels and color RGB 1071. Okay, that's it for all the buttons. Let's see what we have in our finished calculator compared to what we have here. Okay, so here you can see we have the buttons almost the same as what we have here. We have the buttons almost the same as what we have here. So now let's style the operation buttons. Dot operations type button. I'm correct with the class name. Let's see. Operation. Okay. Let me just copy the class name from here. We have operation dot button, not operations, and paste it here. Okay, operation dash button. Then we are giving it a font size of 20 pixels. We are giving a border radius of 20 pixels also. Giving a border none. Height of 50 pixels. Width, just like our other buttons, 50 pixels. Margin 2 pixels. Background color 14. Thirteen 1 0.548. The color as a text color RGB 228 224 and 7. Let's see and see what we have so far. Okay, All right, this is work ongoing, and this is the finished calculator. You can see we coming to almost close to what we are having in our finished calculator here, work calculator, and this. So let's style next. The C button is seeming to have the same style with every other button. I think we did not change the class name for the C buttons. We did not we gave the C button the same class name as all these other buttons. That's why it's the style we gave to these buttons also applying here. So I think we need to go back and check if that's the case, which I know it should be. So this is the C, and as you can see, the class name is same as all the other buttons. So we are going to change this so that we give it a different class, a different style. So let's make this C dash buttons and save. So once we save that and go back here, you see the style disappears because we've changed the style name. We've changed the class name. So you can see here now the class as the style we gave to other buttons has disappeared from this C button because we've changed the class name. Because of that, we're going to go back and give it a different style that will be similar to what we have here. You can see something going on here while we over this button is that the background color changes. Also, the text size, the font size also increases. So it has a completely different style from all the other buttons. So we're going to style this one separately using the class name C button. So let's style that. Let's go to our style in between our styles tag and try to style the C buttons now. C dash button. I guess that's the correct spelling. Okay, C dash button and buttons. C dash button. All right, so let's begin styling the button. We want it to have a border radius of 20 pixels, just like all other buttons. And we want it to have a border. We don't want it to have any border. So border none, like other buttons. We want it to have the same height as other buttons, 50 pixels. Also the same width as other buttons, 50 pixels. Also margin, wanted to have a margin of 2 pixels like other buttons. The background color is the one that will be different. Now the background color we're going to be using for it is RGBA color coding, and we're going to be giving it a 245 5 5 0.795. As you can see, red. We're giving it a red background color, something like that, close to red. Then the color of the text, we are giving it 233. Sorry, RGB color code 233 229 and 9. All right, let's save and see what we have so far compared to. Okay, so here we have a different color, a different style for the C buttons, just as we have it here. We have a different style for the C buttons. So there is something that also happens whenever we over the C buttons from the finished calculator here. There is a change. So we are going to apply that to the styles of that C button. So how do we do that? We come down again and say C buttons colon over. Let's copy this because the same C buttons we're styling. And then we come here and put a column and then say over. This is how to style the button when you over around it. So what do we want to happen when we over around that button? We want the background color to change. to change to RGBA. RGBA 248 215 30 0.904. Also want the color of the text to become red. Then also we want the font weight to be bold. And also we want the font size to increase to 20 pixels. 20 pixels. Alright, let's save and see what we have so far. So here now, you see the effect is now happening on our calculator, on our work. The same effect we have here is happening also here. So next we are going to style there's something else. Let's say an opacity change here as well. So that whenever we click on this, any of the buttons, we will be seeing that effect. So how do we do that? We go back to our styling, and we put it. We style the C buttons, M buttons, and all the buttons. So let's start with our M buttons. Colon active. The same thing is also going to happen to our C buttons, C/buttons, colon active. The same thing also will happen to our operation button when it's active. The same thing is going to happen to our buttons also, all other buttons when they're active. So those are all the buttons we have. Then what we want to happen when they are active, we want the opacity of all of them, or any of them that we click on or that is activated to be 0.6. And that's it for that. So we'll come here, we'll discover that once we click on this, you can see there is a kind of change to make you know that you're actually clicking on the button. The opacity changes. The opacity changes correctly. Go back to here and go to the display. So the border color we have here is not aligning properly. It's meant to be kind of this background color is okay. Then the border color is not affecting. Let's see. Two, 3, 5, 2, 3, 8, 2, 5, 5, 2, 3, 8. Okay, let's pick this border color and paste it over here. See, that will do. Let's save and see. And also we have a border radius here. It's not affecting to the top left corner here. The expression border top. This should be border top left, not border bottom left. Border top left radius. Let's save this and see what we have. Okay,